Hello guys, today in the lesson we will continue subtracting mixed numbers. And we're going to look at a very interesting example. What does it look like? I want to subtract 3 integers. I want to subtract 1 whole and 1 2. Well, let's start with a simple example. Okay, I need to subtract from 3 integers a mixed number, 1 whole, 1 2. By the way, after I explain this example to you, you will be able to subtract a simple fraction from a whole number using the same principle. So let's go back to our example. What problem do we have in solving this example? Well, first of all, if we have a minus sign, we have to pay attention to the denominator. And what can we say? This mixed number has a denominator of 2. And the first number has no denominator. So what do we have to do? We have to make this denominator appear here. Denominator, that is the fractional part. But we can't just write down any number. Although I can take 1 whole part away from the triple and put in any fractional part. For example, I can write down that 3 integers is 2 integers and 3/3. What happened in this case? Notice that I wrote down that 3 is 2 whole and 3/3. Why did I write it down like that? I have repeatedly drawn your attention to the fact that we can write any number as a mixed number. For example, we wrote 3 as 2 whole and 3/3. 3/3 is 1, right? 2 and 1 would be 3. I can also write 3 as 2 whole ones, let's say, and 5/5. I can do that. Why? Because 5/5 is 1, and 2 plus 1 would again be 3. So I can write any number as a mixed number, and I can choose the denominator that I want. Let's remember the rule of subtraction of mixed numbers. To do this, I need the denominators to be the same. Then, going back to our example, I have a denominator of 2, so I'll write down 3 integers. 3 integers I'll write down as 2 integers, and I've got a 2, which is 2 2's, because 2 2's is 1. I chose the denominator 2. Why? Because I have a denominator of 2 here. And then I write 3 whole ones as 2 whole ones, 2 second ones, minus 1 whole one, 1 second one. Well, now we come to the case where you have to subtract the mixed number from a mixed number. And we know how to do that. So 2 minus 1. And plus 2, 2 minus 1, 2. The result is 2 minus 1. It will be 1, 2 second minus 1 second. It will be 1 second. That is, we have solved this example. Let's consider one more example. Let's say we need to subtract 7 integers to subtract 1 integer. So let's take 15, 19. How do we do that? Again, we pay attention to the fact that we have a minus sign, so we need the denominators to be the same. But here the denominator is 19 and there is no fractional part. So I'm going to write down the fractional part. And how do I write it down? I take away 1 whole from the 7. I get 6 whole ones. Well, now it's not hard to guess what denominator we need. We have a denominator of 19. So I write 19, 19 and minus 1 whole. I get 15, 19. Well, now it's very easy to subtract these mixed numbers. From 6 I subtract 1, which is 5. and from 19 I subtract 15, that's 4. 19, that would be our answer. Of course, there are other ways to subtract a mixed number from a whole number. Let's take a look at this one. Perhaps you'll find it useful. Now, I'm going to go back to our previous example and write down 3 whole numbers minus 1 whole number, 1, 2. How do I write down the number 3? It turns out that I can write the number 3 as a fractional number. So I can write 3 as 3. The first 3 minus 1 whole 1 second. Why did I write the number 3 as 3 first? Because 3 divided by 1 is 3. But in this case, I need to get to a common denominator, and the common denominator is 2. But what we're seeing here is that the first number is not a mixed fraction. It's an improper fraction. Then let's convert that to an improper fraction as well. So 3 first minus 1 multiplied by 2 would be 2. 2 plus 1 would be 3 second ones. One more time. I've converted a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. And I ended up with 2 fractional numbers. Now, in order to subtract the 2 fractional numbers, I find the common denominator. And the common denominator is 2. Then the additional multiplier of the first fractional number is 2, and the additional multiplier of the second fractional number is 1. The result is 6. Second minus 3 second. And you know how to subtract fractional numbers. As a result, we fix 2 because it is the common denominator and subtract 3 from 6. We get 3 second ones, and 3 second is 1 whole 1 second. Of course, we can apply this method, but it is inconvenient because you will need to convert to improper fractions and work with large numbers. I gave the same example for a reason, and in this example, you'll get big numbers. So this method is not exactly rational. But when subtracting mixed numbers, the choice is yours, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. In our next lesson, we're going to look at another activity that involves with fractional numbers. And that's all for today. Goodbye. See you again.